Ghost of Yotei has been facing some very serious backlash ever since it was first announced. There were a lot of people that were unhappy that they went in this new female-focused direction instead of continuing Jin Sakai's story. Every single teaser and trailer has felt pretty underwhelming, and at Gamescom they had this big Ghost of Yotei Legends reveal, and the crowd was bored to death. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, this really does summarize what the problem is with this industry. They're not making games for gamers anymore. They're making them for activists who don't actually play games, because the majority of the people who were in the crowd at Gamescom were not gamers. They are journalists, they are some developers, they are executives. They're not people who are going to be purchasing these games. So number one, they're not going to get excited for anything on screen unless they were paid 20 extra bucks when they walked in the door to clap when the screen says clap. But second of all, they're not even creating games that gamers are particularly excited for, because if you look at the discussion around Yotei on social media, it's very mixed. There are some people who are saying we have to give Sucker Punch a chance. Tsushima was such an amazing game, and they're definitely going to make this game as amazing as possible, and it's going to exceed our expectations. And I totally understand that mentality. Tsushima was a phenomenal game, and I want them to make another even better game, but I have to agree with the other side of the argument, which is it looks like more of the same, but even a little bit worse, because every single teaser and trailer we've seen for Yotei looks really mediocre. Atsu's story is super basic. It's the same story that Yotei had in Assassin's Creed Shadows. Her family is wronged, her village burned, so now she has to go on this revenge killing spree. That's the same story Yotei had, that's the story Atsu has, and I'm sure that there's other examples of that story existing out there too, but two, I would say, very similar games back to back, and that's the best story you can come up with for your female protagonist. But the game doesn't really look that enhanced from Tsushima. It doesn't really look like they added any new super unique gameplay systems or features. All of the costumes that we've seen have looked really mediocre. It just doesn't seem as enhanced as we would expect it to be. And now they're trying to sell people on Ghost of Yotei Legends, which is going to be a free DLC for Yotei owners. It's supposed to be like the multiplayer edition, a multiplayer mode. And, well, the Gamescom crowd reacted to this Legends reveal very similarly to how people on social media are reacting to it, which is absolute silence. Nobody's clapping. Nobody seems really excited for this. Nobody seems particularly interested. They're just sort of sitting around, and even when it's time to clap, it was a really, really lackluster attempt, and gamers are reacting the same exact way on social media. That we had been waiting years for another Ghost game, and this is the best that you could do. You're now trying to sell us on this big multiplayer mode, and maybe this will be really cool. I am going to play Yotei. I'm going to give it a chance. I stream most of the games that I talk about on the channel because I think that it's only fair. I see if my criticisms leading up to release were correct or if they were wrong. I'm fully willing to admit that. But this game's already faced so much backlash that I just don't see the general sentiment around this changing in such a positive direction. I mean, even looking at the upload over on YouTube, this is the official IGN upload, it's only sitting at 160,000 views. It's at 5K likes and 1.7K dislikes, so it's still being positively received, but 5K likes, that's it? For a trailer that was highlighted at Gamescom? That's really the best that you can do. And when you compare it to something like Black Myth Zonky, it's wildly different. Black Myth's trailer is at 2.4 million views, 72,000 likes to only 450 dislikes. It just goes to show that gamers are not really that interested in Yotei, and pair that with all of the controversy surrounding this game, I don't think this is going to make the money that they expect. And as we've gotten closer to the release, fan concerns have increased because we also recently found out that the game's writers worked on Veilguard, Andromeda, and Anthem. And sure, some of these people worked on some really great games 10, 15, 20 years ago, but just because they made something good in the past doesn't mean that they can make something good now. Over time, people's skill set and the quality of their work do drastically change, whether it is positively or negatively. And the past couple of games they've made have been complete and utter failures. Pair that with the fact that this lead actress, Erika Ishii, is a activist, it just doesn't bode well for this project. And maybe none of the modern day slop that we see in the industry now will infect this project, but it's always good to stay cautiously optimistic. And with this, Legends reveal and it being received so poorly by the shills in the industry, I don't even want to imagine how gamers are going to feel when this releases, if people even pay attention to it when it releases. It might just be one of those things that launches and then it instantly fades into obscurity, but a lot of gamers are roasting this. Imagine if they made the sequel with Jin that gamers actually were asking for, mega oof, and the crowd goes mild. When you are dumping hundreds of millions of dollars into a project, yeah, you don't want the reaction to be blank faces and maybe like one or two very quick, quiet claps. I have zero interest in this game. The original was great, but I'm not playing a DEI sequel with the main character modeled on and performed by some weirdo LGBT activist, and I want this game to come out and I want it to be good. I want every single game to come out and be good. I say it all the time, even the wokest titles like Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, Dustborn, Concord, Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn, developers have a right to create those, but gamers also have the right to not swipe their credit cards on them. The market will speak for itself, and it definitely has been, and I loved Tsushima, so I wanted Yotei to come out, and I wanted to give it a chance, and I will still try it, but at the same time, I just don't see this selling the probably 10 million copies that they want it to. No one's excited for this BS. Make games great again. Put a chick in it, make it lame and gay. Ghost of Woke was waiting on the reaction. Not a damn thing. It's so funny to me that the people who either paid to be there or were paid to be there did not have any sort of reaction at all whatsoever. So this is just a very bad look for Sony and Sucker Punch and Ghost of Yotei. I will, of course, be keeping my eye on this title. We're only really a couple of weeks away from its launch, so we'll have to see how the marketing campaign really picks up, if they're going to dump even more money into it. I really haven't seen that many advertisements for it, which also is a really bad sign, but maybe they just have no confidence in it, given ever since it was first officially announced, there's been major backlash surrounding it. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this and found it important and informative, make sure to give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.